I just have to say I love hearing the positivity in the descriptions and the self-love that I hear within both descriptions, because I feel like that is very important um, for people to take note of, just in general, because how you speak about yourself is how you become in the world. What's up, peoples? It's your bartenders, Mistah Z.
And your boy Omega.
Surprise! There's some new changes. In our excitement to create this podcast and discuss topics in depth, we skipped over an important topic. Us.
This episode, we invite our barmate and fellow king, Richard, to interview us and give more perspective to who we are and what to expect from our podcast.
As every episode, we want to thank all of you for listening. We truly appreciate you listening to our hearts and minds on varied and difficult topics.
Special thank you goes out to our Patreon subscribers for their support of the show. Every little bit helps us reach our goals to invite more high-profile guests and create bonus content. Patrons, be on the lookout in the coming months as we'll be releasing bonus content on our Patreon.
And if you want to join in our conversation outside of this cast, feel free to hit us up on Twitter or Instagram at HaveADrinkCast, and make sure to use that hashtag HADcast.
Remember, this is always a conversation. If you don't agree, you want to voice your opinions, or even suggest a topic for an episode, feel free to join our Discord as well. The link will be in the description.
And please, if you like what we're doing here, share us with your friends, your family, neighbors, hell, even your nosy coworker that's always asking you really personal questions about your sex life. Yeah, your referrals mean a lot to us, as that's how we gain more listeners.
Thank you again.
And get prepared to sit,
think,
and have a drink.
Welcome to Have a Drink Podcast. Enjoy the episode.
We said peace. What's up, peoples, and welcome back to another episode of the Have a Drink Podcast. I'm your bartender, Mistah Z.
I'm Omega.
And sitting at the bar, we have our brother Richard today.
Hello.
And inviting you to sit down, think, and have a drink. So today, we're going to kind of, flip the script a little bit. Normally, the first episode is reserved for the kind of content that we're about to put out in this one. But since we didn't get a chance to do that the first go around, we guys are going to give you a little sneak peek now. Richard, we had you set up some questions and things to kind of like shoot the shit, interview each other, get to know each other on a deeper level. Just kind of wanted to do that and then go over what this show is about. Because the original conception of this show, as I said in the trailer, was we miss going out for drinks with our friends, after shows that we do, or work, being able to meet up and sit and just talk and really dive into what really matters to us, or what we were feeling throughout the day and whatnot. And as we've been doing this, it's kind of been evolving and growing into a space not only where we can talk about our experiences and our feelings, but we can also dive deeper into what's really in the hearts and the minds of those individuals out in the world doing things from day to day. Sometimes a lot of media outlets will just give you the surface level news. They'll give you the surface level of events and in particular situations, but they don't ever go to that depth. They don't ever talk about, the root of maybe why someone is doing this, and then how to correct that, or solutions that has worked for them in the past, or experiences that they've had. Because a lot of time when people are reporting the news, in which we're not doing, when they're reporting the news, that's just all they're doing. They're not connecting to it and understanding what is happening. And sometimes it can take on a bias. I mean, here we have our opinions, and they're all open, they're all free and accepted, because we've created this safe space to do so. And it allows us to be able to see not only the similarities between each other, but the differences. And I really appreciate this for that.
All right, Richard, my brother.
Yes, sir. Perfect.
Welcome. How are you?
I'm well, sir. How are y'all?
I'm blessed, man. You look good.
Thank you. It's good to be seen. Thank you. I feel good.
There you go. Hey.
I have a few questions for you, gentlemen, if that's okay.
What? A few questions? Was not prepared.
Oh, good. All right. So I think I'm gonna do reverse alphabetical order. And
Z first.
Z first. Hey. So, anyways, all right.
He's never been first.
He's never been first.
I'm always
ever.
last on the list.
You're welcome. I'll be here all week. But first question is, what's your favorite movie now and of all time?
Ooh, favorite movie now and of all time. Oh, that's difficult. My favorite movie of all time would have to be the Goofy movie.
I did see that shirt, and that shirt looks great.
I knew he was going to do that. I was looking at Powerline wondering why didn't you say it?
That shirt is a good shirt, though. I meant to tell you that earlier.
Oh, thank you. You know, it is, for all intents and purposes, I don't care what anybody says, like it's a Black Disney movie.
It's a Black Disney movie for sure.
Like
By
for
far.
sure. You know, the artists that were performing in it, like, whoo, soulful, everything, like from start to finish. Like, oh man, I still sing and recite all the songs today, obviously, but like I showed it to lowercase and he is now obsessed with it, and I explained to him why I really like it, because he goes, Daddy, why is this your favorite movie? And I was like, well, mainly because of my favorite character, which is Powerline, who is played by Tevin Campbell, who's a real live artist, a real live singer, you know, does this for his real job. And he's like, what, really? I'm like, yeah. He only has like one, maybe two good songs, but like it's perfect. Like it's the anthem. It's the anthem, you know?
So I'm going to throw a fun fact. Thank you for sharing that. I still to this day will hit the perfect cast and do not care.
Yes.
It just, and I do not care what anybody says. I will hit the perfect cast on the right day. Mind you, I won't do it on command, but I will definitely, I still do it, practice it to this day. So
I think, I'm not going to lie to you, I think you would probably go viral if you did that on your own and
that.
just hit the perfect cast.
That actually might be a next video, just randomly hitting a perfect cast out just anywhere, ever.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And another fun fact, the dancer for Powerline is Anthony Thomas, who was also one of the choreographers for Janet Jackson.
Right.
He's the choreographer for Rhythm Nation. So he was the one that did the motion capture for that.
That's awesome.
So
I didn't know that.
Notice that all the dancing is in there and how precise and how clean and everything it was. That's because of him. And he, my friend, was a locker.
Oh.
And he was teaching locking at Debbie Reynolds' studio.
Also,
his class.
Oh, that's cool. Now, what about your favorite movie right now?
Favorite movie right now would have to be Black Klansman. And I say that because the way in which it was shot and kind of put together, written, it flows as something that comes off as hard satire, as like, you know, you're not trying to take it as seriously, but serious enough to get the point across, like a Spike Lee movie.
Because it was.
I know. No, it was right on brand, you know, just like a Spike Lee movie.
Going back on Black Klansman, something that was actually really interesting to me that, you know, of course, not a lot of it, but a good chunk of the movie, you know, was, mind you, based on a true story, but, you know, there were some fictional pieces written in the movie, right? But this was I think the movie took place in the 70s or 80s, right? Mm-hmm. And how, spoiler alert, but there was this one scene near the climax of the movie where the white woman who was in the wrong, you know, told police, oh, it's her. And I was like, we see that still to this day. You know what I'm saying? And that actually kind of stirred me up. To this day. And so that's actually one scene that still really bothers me. I actually haven't rewatched it because of that scene alone, actually. Because it just really bothered me. But thank you for your answers. Omega, same question to you. I'll repeat just for good measure. Your favorite movie now and of all time.
Right. All-time favorite movie is a toss-up between two. I have to give it up. Coming to America and The Last Dragon. Right.
Okay.
So
two classic joints for sure. My question
both
is
in the 80s.
Right, both in the 80s. Now, when it comes to the sequel coming out for Coming to America, how you feel about it?
Well, now, I'm trying to go in with zero expectations, with the mindset of this is 30 plus years. So Eddie's been out of the scene for quite a few years, but they're also trying to bring back an old brand and pick up where they left off. And they also can't run the same jokes or same type of jokes because the times are different. So they have to be very creative and clear and different from that. So that's why I'm going in with the zero expectations. But I'm still going to support it because I just love the movie. Like, I literally could watch it. If you put it on right now, I would stop whatever I'm doing and just watch the movie.
So, all right, thank you for that. Favorite movie right now?
Favorite movie right now? It's kind of hard. Okay, so it's hard, but I will have to say Black Panther. And I'm going to say why. Because of the stuntmen, and every time I watch it, I see something I didn't notice before. So it's about everything, the all-encompassing of it. And then it also intrigues me to want to learn another language, which is Tosa, right? So I'm listening to hear the different dialects, but also trying to pay attention to what's Tosa and what's not. So I say Black Panther.
Okay, so it sounds like you see it from a more technical aspect instead of, turn off your brain, be entertained. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you for that.
No problem.
I'm going to go. I'm sorry, go ahead, Z. Well played, sir. I like that. I'm going to go throw my hat in the ring. Favorite movie of all time, The Sandlot, for a number of reasons. I love that movie. I've seen it at least 100 times. I can quote it word for word, verbatimly, start and finish backwards and forwards, whichever way, you want to say it. I know that movie like the back of my hand. I love it. It just reminds me of just childhood nostalgia, having fun, with your neighborhood friends, and literally nothing else mattering in the entire world except the game that y'all are playing right now. And so a lot of things from the movie I still carry with me to this day. Basically, like, don't think, just have fun. Now, you can't do that for everything, but ultimately still just have like a childlike wonder when it comes to things. Like, it's easy to get so jaded and, just so blinded by the wrongs in this world. But there's still some things in this world that like can still bring you joy and amazement. Favorite movie right now, I'm gonna say two. Not the most. I'm gonna give you the most recent one first because I saw it maybe a week ago. Knives Out was really good. I love a good whodunit, and as in like what. Oh, that's how they. I love a good whodunit, and that's done really well. But the second one, Get Out, and like you, Omega, every time I watch Get Out, I always see something different. I've done all the research. Like, I've looked at the IMDb page. I've looked at the videos that Jordan Peele did with, Vanity Fair, and it's always something new I'm noticing, every single time. Get Out is one of the rare movies, if it's on TV, I'm stopping whatever I'm doing and watching. It was just that good to me. So there's that. Next question, if you gents don't mind. Omega, I'm going to go you this time, all right? From the last year of your life, what's one moment you would like to relive?
That's a really good question.
No problem, sir. but also thank you. Take as much time as you need.
The last year of my life, the photo shoot with my daughter for her college graduation, the fun and the times that we had with my wife and my daughter, our dogs, her boyfriend. Yeah, man, just the joy of seeing my little girl do great things and just to be a part of that. That was an amazing moment, and I loathe graduations because they just feel like they're drawn out and boring. But I appreciated it because it was virtual, one, but two, because my daughter did it, and I'm so proud of her for it. So yeah, and the time spent. Yeah, that's me.
It was very precious, sir. Thank you for sharing that. Z, same question to you, sir.
Um, a moment I'd like to relive from my last year, and maybe pushing what my definition of the last year is, but um, our last New Year's performance in New Jersey, we just being that whole experience, that whole trip. That's what I would like to relive, because from start to finish, it was amazing. We got to teach dance. We got to go out and about and explore, and it was just really fun. It was being we got to influence young minds um, on the complete opposite side of our country, in a way that was meaningful. That we love to do, and hope to continue to do.
It's beautiful, gentlemen. Thank you for sharing that. For me, the last year of one moment I want to relive is the Astros being in the World Series, and I'll tell you why. Yes, they did not win. I'm quite aware. I was there, but being able to go to the World Series because what it took for me to get there, right? So I had to move out to Oakland. I met you guys, decided to do a baseball road trip, a bunch of stadiums, met the right people, and you guys know the story, but met the right people, shot my shot, and then on top of that, continued to shoot my shot, and basically made the best of the opportunity. Um, Became a member of a team, and long story short, the Astros made their way to the postseason, and I was there with them from like July on, and that included flying back and forth from Houston to Oakland, and it was a once in a lifetime experience for a number of reasons. Because one, I love baseball, but two, I was in my hometown watching two teams. One team that I worked for in the past, one team that actually gave me my start in sports, another team that I'm, currently working for. Being in my hometown, um, game 6 and 7 of the biggest World Series that I can remember of my lifetime. Um, Working with people that I literally love, you know. It was a heck of an experience. And my brother was able to finesse his way into a ticket, so that was great. But then also, that was the last time that my dad would experience a baseball game. So out of all the games in the world to go to, he saw his two sons attend World Series in our hometown. Yes, we didn't win, but you know what? I walked home a winner that night, and I couldn't be any prouder of myself, or the city, or my brother. So there's that.
Beautiful answer, brother. Beautiful.
Thank you, gents. Thank you.
Of course. Before we hop into more of that questioning, I want to break it up a little bit, and I want to ask you guys a question. Um, who are you? Who are you? Why why are you on this podcast, and why are you important to this?
Just a young black man in this world trying to get it, man. But also learning every day as much as I can. We all have our faults, but we all have circumstances that we were born with that we have zero control over, but also just life circumstances that we have zero control over. So literally just trying to make it each day, but also making sure I set an example, but also set myself up for the future, for others to follow, but look up to. If not, so they can see that standard and not only meet it, but exceed it.
Beautiful answer. Beautiful answer. Omega?
All right. Well, I'm Omega, and I am the change that you wish to see in this world. That's who I am. And I'm going to continue that change by inspiring the young minds of tomorrow. And that's my calling, and that's why I'm here. I am a go getter, driven, passionate person who appreciates all of his interactions, both good and bad, because they are what makes me who I am. I am a leader. I am a thinker. I am a friend. I am a lover. I'm a father. I'm a fighter. I'm a black man. I am me.
I love it. I love it. Um, I just have to say, I love hearing the positivity in the descriptions and the self-love that I hear within both descriptions. Because I feel like that is very important um, for people to take note of, just in general, because how you speak about yourself is how you become in the world. you know, um, for me, I say my name at the beginning of this every time. I'm Mistah Z. I'm a father. I'm an entertainer. Like I'm love. My name literally translates to compassion. I am the desire to inspire and hopefully can become a positive force in the world, wherever that may be. You know, being an entertainer, I get a chance to travel the country, as a dancer or as a singer or, a combination of that and acting. But it brings me around the world for a chance to do what I mentioned earlier, which is to be able to influence and to touch the hearts and minds of the younger generations that are out there, older generations that are out there. Um, yeah, and I try to take all that and apply it to myself as well. Apply the love that I give out to myself as well. And I'm also continuously evolving as a person. I've been a person who has made mistakes, horrible mistakes in the past, and have looked down on myself for those things. But through a process, through a slew of processes, I've come to forgive myself in those moments and have come to love myself, and be able to grow from them. So das is my answer. Yeah, actually, another quick question: like, what do we do? What do you guys do in the field of entertainment? I know some places we can't particularly speak on, but we all work in various fields. We mention it lightly in between episodes. Sometimes it's kind of mentioned as, y'all know who I am and what I do. So here, let me continue. And I'm like, maybe not everybody knows. So this being a moment to kind of touch upon that. Let's go reverse. Omega, give us a little bit about what you do.
Uh, I'm an educator and I'm an entertainer. Education wise, I work in the field of physical education for the elementary school age children. And entertainment wise, I guess I would just say I'm a dancer and an MC, not as in a rapper, but as in I could host events and stuff like that. So that's kind of my thing. And then also, I'm just an unofficial motivational speaker because I speak life into all of my students that I coach and to all the people that I work with. That's what I am, and that's what I do.
I love. Richard?
So, in the words of Lupe Fiasco, what do? I'm just trying to do the opposite of left. You know what I'm saying? I'm just really just trying to get it right, Chief. I really am. You know what I mean? But anyways, so with all due respect, some things I do choose to keep private, but I do work in a few sports arenas in the Bay Area, also in Houston, Texas. Also a podcaster as well. Got a few podcasts going, and I'm thankful for that. You know, it feels like I'm finally getting in the lane where I can, you know, make strides and make them strong and good strides. So I'm thankful for that. So that's what I do.
Y'all, you don't understand. This brother is really good when it comes to podcasting, which is why we chose to have him do the interview questions tonight. And I'm telling you right now, if you guys don't know, you better go ask somebody. Richard White, he's all right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go cry in the car. Be right back, guys.
You better believe it. Okay. I guess I mentioned it lightly in my answer earlier, but yeah, I'm an entertainer as well. That has been kind of my main focus. I also do massage therapy. I've been a jack of all trades my whole life. That saying, "Jack of all trades, master of none." To finish that out is often better than a master of one. And I've taken that approach. So I've done a whole bunch of things leading up to now, but I've settled on in my career being fully entertainment, you know, whether that's, like I said before, traveling around the country and performing in that form of dancing, singing, and acting, or being a part of sports and entertainment out in the Bay, which has really been nice to be, and like it felt like a blessing to be a part of. Uh, yeah.
Isn't it weird that we have some of the coolest jobs, but we can't even really talk about it? So we have
Right.
to lightweight speak in code. I
In
mean,
the code we're speaking of, we all get it and understand it. But
yes.
yeah.
It's gonna still be like, we still don't know what you do. Like, where do you work?
Like, I could be like, I mean, like, there's things that I can say, like how I said I was a PE teacher. I didn't say that I'm an MMA coach or that I was like a striking coach for years or whatever. I don't even talk about that, even though I could. I'm wearing a Wrestling Nation's hat, by the way. And yes, Wrestling Nation, I'm trying to get sponsored, help a brother out. Yeah. But anyways, but you know, we talk about that, but then it's like we have this other side. And yes, and I'm saying, I'm going to be very specific, sports entertainment side. But they're like, well, what is sports entertainment? Check in at our next episode and you just might find out.
Cool. Z, we're gonna do you this time, okay? What's a belief you have that'll never change?
There's always another way. You're never without options.
If I can interject quickly, and this is just me wanting to press a little harder. Another way meaning there's more than one way to skin a cat, or there's another way to get to where you need to get to.
There's another way to get to where you need to get to. And I take this from a belief that I got from growing up, reading comic books, not having a father around, looking for a positive male role model. You know, I turned to comic books and particularly Superman. And one of the things that his moral standing has been is, you know, he doesn't kill, and there's always another way. You can always save someone. You know, you're never left with absolutely no options, you know, but to do the unspeakable. No, there's always another way. You can always find another way.
Was listening to a podcast about that, what you just spoke of. I'll find it and send it to you. Can't remember who. I want to say it's Alex Banayan, and he wrote a book basically talking about the third door. So there's a way you can, for example, if you're standing in line, right? And I don't mean to interject, but if you're standing in line, you can go through the front door, you can go through the back door. But there's somebody who's going to get in crawling through a side window. Somebody who's going to get in crawling through the chimney. Somebody who's going to get in who knows a secret trap door. So I'll send you that podcast, but it's interesting you said that. Same question to you, Omega.
If my head conceives it, my heart believes it, I can achieve it. That is one belief that will never ever change. And that's what I preach to everybody and I say to everyone because I truly believe it. And not only do I believe it, I'm living proof of it. And I'll say this right now. My life has been blessed by God since the moment he put me on this earth. And I can't give it to anybody else but him because I have done almost everything I ever wanted to do by the time I was 21 years old. Everything. There's only 2 things in this life I haven't done yet. And I'm only 35. And that says a lot. That says a lot. As a child, I said I wanted to be in the movies. And I said it. I told my mom, I told everybody that would listen, I'm going to be on the movie screen. You're going to see me on the movie theaters. You're going to see me on the screen one day. You watch, you watch, you watch. And, you know, everybody said, yeah, okay, yeah, little boy, yeah, Anthony, okay, all right, yeah, you believe that. By the time I was in 6th grade, I was on the movie screen. My mom, my godmother, and my friends watched me on the movie screen. And I said, I can do this. I always said I wanted to be a black belt. I'm going to be a black belt. I'm going to be a ninja one day. I'm a 5th degree black belt. I've been a ninja in other things. I've flown all over the world doing what I do best. Again, conceive, believe, achieve.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Z, I hope you edit this out, but for 2 seconds, Omega, I thought you were a boy band. See, achieve. Again, Z, please edit that out. I don't want to. Those are like I don't want to kill the flow.
No,
But
I got you.
I was like,
No, that's got to stay. That's got to stay.
In all seriousness, thank you. Please don't. No. But no, gentlemen, and I'm not trying to poke fun at you. By all means, I think y'all know me well enough to know that that was beautiful from like both y'all. So thank you for sharing that. For me, I have 2. Of course, you know, we had maybe if we sat down long enough, we can think of like hundreds. But I'm gonna just keep it short because let's be honest about it, we all can talk, especially me. So I'll keep it down to 2. 1, Thin Mints are the best Girl Scout cookie of all time. Nobody can ever tell me different. Point blank. Period.
Straight up.
Who called it?
Straight up.
I told you. He was smacking on them Thin Mints. I knew he found it. He's happy to be home. He found his stash.
That's it. That's exactly what it was. But number 2, I'll never forget it. I was in high school. I had a teacher. His name was John McCall. I actually went to go visit him about a year or 2 ago in Maine. He lives in Maine now. But he said this thing all the time, and the older I get, the more I realize it's true. It'll all work out in the end. And the older I get, the more I cling to it. Just looking at situations that, you know, could have ended disastrously. Situations that could have gone the other way. You know, situations that I would have to live with for life. But I'll be honest about it, you know, God stepped in and had other plans for me. And I'm thankful for that. And even just believing and achieving and trying to get to places. And, you know, it works out and sometimes it doesn't. But it'll all work out for you in the end, no matter what. So that's something that I heard, and I will never, ever believe differently.
I love that.
Thank you, sir. All right, gentlemen, we're going to do another one. On the opposite of that coin, what's a belief you've changed your mind on? This time, Omega, you go first.
That's hard. And I say that because I'm always evolving. Yeah, that's a hard one.
So while you're thinking, let me just interject. Going back into what I think Z said it. You're evolving. You know, he said it earlier. We're evolving. And I think I can speak for all of us when I say we all want to grow and be better. And with growth comes evolution, you know? And so I think when you grow older, learn more about yourself, but also learn more about the world, things conflict. But also what you thought previously is completely different from, you know, what you thought before, and vice versa. So that's actually one question I want to learn, because I know we both got a bunch of wisdom right here on this line, but also people from 3 different parts of the world, you know? Let's be honest about it. I'm sure y'all know each other. I didn't know y'all existed 2 years ago, but I consider y'all 2 of my most favorite people, you know, in the world, point blank period, you know? don't ask me to rank you because I'm not. All right, like then y'all are two people I deeply care about. Who I know and love and consider brothers. So I know we grow and evolve. We want to get better. Even in the short time we've known each other, I can say we've all experienced something where we're like, what the, like what just happened? You know what? I believe this one thing. Now I know otherwise because I witnessed it, seen it myself, heard it, etc., etc. But I'm going to repeat the question just to drive a point home one more time. What's a belief you've changed your mind on?
That I couldn't do well in school. That school was not for me. That was a belief that I've changed my mind on. And the reason why I kept saying it's hard is because I was trying to think outside of myself in this question. But I feel like if I talk about myself in this respect, it may inspire somebody else. Just because I wasn't able to focus at the time at school, and I wasn't there mentally or emotionally at that time. It wasn't for me then. But right now, I'm in the right headspace with the right support and the right drive, and I know what I want and what I want to do. School is just right for me. And I'm saying that because it's hard, but I'm game. And I'm willing to go through the fire to get what I want. And I have a drive. And that's why I said that's a belief that had definitely changed for me, was that school wasn't for me, but now it is. And I'm up to the challenge. And I'm going to be successful because I already seen it in my head. I believe it in my heart. Now I'm going to go get it and go get my degree.
I love it.
I love it, but also good luck on your pursuit, sir. For the short time I've known you, I think I can speak for me and Z. Like, we know you're going to get that. So what are you going to do next? All right. But anyways, for now, we know that you're going to knock that out, sir.
Get hired and get this PE job so I can make some real money.
Gang,
So I'm
gang.
working 35 jobs.
I respect it. I respect them. Thank you for that. Z, what you got for us, sir?
For me, that it's okay to admit when you're wrong and that you can change. And it's okay to. Because there was a point in my life when I was younger, I took traits from my dad, even though he wasn't around, which is super interesting. But, which pathological lying is something that he would do and I would do as a kid. And my mom hated it. She would she would find all sorts of ways to try and like get me out of that habit. And a lot of it for me stemmed from fear, fear of disappointment, fear of that ass whooping, fear of, shame. And as I grew up, and I mean, this really for me didn't even happen till college. Probably, I want to say second year of college. I had this relationship where I was cheating and it didn't feel good, like I felt like something was wrong with me. And so like I was cheating, I was lying, and it started to hurt in my heart. Not just because, I'm cheating and I got caught, but like I was hurting somebody that I loved, and being of love, it hurt me even deeper. And so that sort of chaos, turmoil, and pain kind of brought my awareness to this new state of being that I wanted to be, because I wanted to be honest. I wanted to be open. I didn't want to have to lie about who I am, who I love, what I love, and so this idea of I can admit when I am wrong, I have lied, and that I can change that, and that I don't have to have that same stance of like I don't need to lie anymore. Like that's not something I need to do. I can change that action. I can correct my course and become a better person.
Thanks for going deep with us and sharing that. I really appreciate it. So I've been kind of battling with so many things because life has happened, but also choosing like what to share and what not to share. And I'm saying this for a reason, because I got two West Coast boys I know who live, eat, sleep, breathe, the West Coast, the Bay. But I want to throw this grenade out there, and mind you, just so we clear, it's all love, but also just like I can dish it, y'all know I can take it, all right? So Mind you, this is just me stirring the pot, because sometimes you got to put them seasons together so it all come together, right? So, let me cut to the chase. A belief I've changed my mind on: California isn't as progressive as everyone thinks it is. Or, if I can travel a little bit home, California isn't as open-minded as everyone thinks it is. Does it lead the nation? Definitely top 3, if not number 1. But is it the free hippie land, hippie world where everybody loves each other and everybody is at peace with everybody? Absolutely not. Now, gentlemen, again, like I said, I dish it. If you want to dish it back, I'm all ears. You know what I'm saying? I can take that. But from my year and a half, maybe cut it down because of COVID, a few months from living here in this California, not as progressive or open-minded or understanding as people might believe. Go ahead, gents. I'll leave it open to you.
I'm diving in. I'm sorry. I'll put it like this. That's because you're on the outside looking in. You know what I'm saying? Because you guys had a higher bar set for us than we had for us. It's like, we know what we are. I know what I am. I know where I'm from, and I know how I'll come. But when you're on the outside at a whole other state with a whole other experiences and everything, and you're looking in, I mean, that's what they portray us as on TV. If you look at it, watch every movie, watch every television show, watch all the music from the way back when up until now, everything's about us being so far, so progressive. Everything's about us. When you think San Francisco, what are the two things you think? Golden Gate Bridge and gay people.
Also, rice-a-roni, because it's a San Francisco treat.
Yeah, that's from outside. People do that from the outside. You know, like I said, San Francisco, they say Golden Gate Bridge and gay people. Or if you think about LA, they say everybody surfs. Everybody's a surfer dude. They say, if you say Oakland, everybody is either, if you're black, you're a Black Panther. If you're white, you're a hippie. Because they take that from Berkeley. And there's so much more to it. Z, take it away.
Okay. It is also because you know, you have to also think the gentrification that has happened, the Silicon Valley. It is completely changed the dynamic from what the narrative was of California and the Bay Area and LA and all these places in California have been in the past. But as time sort of progressed and tech started to take over, you start to see more people moving from East Coast. You see more people moving from the Midwest. You see more people moving from up north over to California from these other areas, and especially the Bay Area. You know, you have the rich elite down in Hollywood. You know, where a lot of what their goings-ons were in the past have been secretive, and now a lot of the things are, you know, a little bit more open, but now it's a bit more segregated. Like it's this confluence of time and geographic relocation of the people who are now living in California, because I'm a Californian born and raised. Like on the playground in hot ass Fresno is where I spent most of my days. But like going up and down California, I got to experience all different facets of California as it was changing. You know, I lived in LA. You know, I didn't live just in SoCal and LA in 1 year. Like I lived there several different times throughout my life as I grew. Same with Fresno, same with the Bay Area, same, you know, with Northern Cali, further north. You know, like I got to experience a wider range. And that's something that I saw was as, you know, technology started getting stronger and the popularity of this narrative of like, oh, come to California, we're free, loving, and accepting. Like, motherfucker, I'm from Fresno, where skinheads are still a thing. And you know, like it's the Midwest of California is what I would say.
That is really funny. Speaking of skinheads, I was listening to this podcast earlier today before we got on the line, and they were talking about Huntington Beach and how that's like a hotbed for racism as well, in comparison to Long Beach literally being down the street. Completely different worlds, but also like right next to each other, literally.
The crazy thing is California is so different. That's why for so many years they talked about California seceding and being its own, right? Or if you wanted to, you could break California into 3 different states,
Oh
because
yeah.
Northern California is way different from Southern California, and Southern California is completely different from Central California.
Don't be
You know
caught
what I
in
mean?
SoCal saying hella.
Right? No, well, hella, you could say all over, but yeah, it's a Bay thing. You know what I'm saying? Northern California. But I mean, yeah. So that's why I'm saying it's like it's so diverse here, and that's why. And when we say progressive, it's like to one extent we are, but when you have everybody from all walks of life and all different types of thinking coming here, that progression is different now
Hmm.
because everybody wants to push their own ideals.
100%. Also, thank you, Jonah. I appreciate it. In all honesty, Oakland has been great. Love the people here. One thing I love about Oakland is just it's a place where people do look out for each other. You know, even the little bit that you know about a person. Now, you know, just like anybody, kind of standoffish at first. Once they get to know a person, man, whatever you need, you let me know, and it's done. You know, so yeah, shout out to y'all. Last question for me. I know there will be more to come, I'm sure, but last question is for me. Gentlemen, what are your end goals for your career? And Z, I'm going to have you answer first.
The end goals for my career. I was just talking about this with Omega yesterday. The end all be all for my career, my hopes, my dreams, my goals is to all right, I'm gonna put this out in the world, is to own a company, own an entertainment production company, not one that does, parties and events and things like that. An actual entertainment production company that takes artists like dancers, singers, people who play instruments, actors, artists of painting, drawing, sculpting, whatever, and turn them into well-rounded entertainers. You know, um, so that it's not just you bring them in and you train them up in their spot and then send them out into the world and kind of like oh, we'll back you in the things that you're looking for. Like, no, give them a tool, give them a whole toolbox of knowledge that they can take out into the world, because I mean we're living proof that you can be multifaceted entertainers and still and have a really good career and be able to go out in the world and offer more than just one thing to people. um and and the hopes and dreams of that company is to also be a producer, not just a producer of or I'm producing music, but to be a producer of shows, cartoons, comic books, movies, uh music, people. you know just yeah, I am the seed of compassion, so somewhere in there that's gonna be dropped. Yeah.
Thank you for that, sir. Omega, what you got for me, sir? What are your end goals for your career?
I gain all the experience and the knowledge of it so I can turn around and give it back to others and teach. I go through it so I can help you get to it. And that's my end goal. So that's why mine is in education, because I've been a firm believer of you got to be in it to get it. So I wanted to be a dancer. So what did I do? I danced. And I think I'm a fairly decent dancer and performer. I was into acting, did that for a little bit. I was okay. But I've had all these areas that I've been able to touch. So now when kids ask me or when people ask me, how do I do this? Or what do you think I should do? Or who should I talk to? Now it's just about you got a minute? Let's sit down, let's have a cup of coffee and let's talk about it. This is who I think you should call and this is who you should talk to and this is where you should go and this is what you should do. Because I want to be just like my ancestors. I want to pass down knowledge and keep that flow going. I'm not just going to put it only in a book. I'm going to give it to you face to face. I want to talk to you. I want to see the light shining in your eyes. I want to see the fire burning down deep down inside you. And then I want to see you go out and show that light and shine it around the world and let them know that you're able to be whatever you want to do.
Perfect answer. So thank you for that. So for me, things have changed, I want to say, since late December. And of course, we're growing and evolving, but there are also hard turns and circumstances that force you to change, whether you want to or not. And because of that, my answer to this question still up in the air. Because what I wanted to be, let's say, a year ago, completely different from what I want it to be now. Realizing more and more life is short. Some things aren't worth your time. And you know what? You enjoy it, but you're not married to this, you know? So um basically I guess it's just for me it's more of a setup on time, but also setting myself up. Seeing how people live their lives and knowing I'm not trying to do that because I saw what that looked like and did to your body when you were 60, 65. And you know what? We might have to change course, and that's okay. So ultimately, I have an idea, not entirely sure just yet, but I'd love to be an executive for a baseball team. That's number one. I love baseball. Baseball is one spot where I feel at home, no matter what stadium I'm in. Just walk around stadium, I just feel comfortable. I feel at home. I love the game. That's number two. But three, uh, I just want to live comfortably, you know, where me and my family, my wife and, you know, my kids, where, you know, money is just not nothing we got to worry about. We won't be living paycheck to paycheck. We'll be living comfortably. We can, you know, donate. We can support others. You know, we can support whoever. And I want to be at a spot where I can finally kick back and say, and this is answering your question, I can finally kick back and say, that's why I went through everything I went through. So I can do this right now. So that's my end goal for me to kick back, live comfortably, be happy, have a happy family, you know, kids going to the best schools, learning everything they can learn. And I can pass on, like Omega, pass on whatever knowledge and game I got to whoever wants to sit down and whoever is serious about it. So it's passed on, but also made better and improved. And so if I got to be a starter for it, cool, I'll be a starter. But where I can kick back and say, okay, I get it now. I see, God, this is why I went through this. This is why I experienced that. So I can finally kick back, take a seat, and just be happy and not have a care in the world.
I love it. I love it. That was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Richard, for taking the time to come and interview us and you know, share parts of yourself. Thank you, O, for coming and sharing parts of yourself. You know, I really appreciate us being able to take the time to do this because it also gives us a chance to kind of get to know each other a little bit more too. I know we do random questions like this normally, but I felt like the question master
Who's
is
been slacking on his job for a minute and hasn't been sending questions in the mornings like he used to.
Hey, you mind your business, okay? But
but you know it's the perfect combination, and yeah, who better else but Richard.
gentlemen, I just appreciate your time, you know. I just appreciate y'all, but just thank you for the opportunity for just providing that space for me, you know, but also just allowing me in y'all world too. I really do appreciate it.
No, we appreciate you. And what are those other podcasts that you're a part of? I want to make sure that we show love and light towards you in that way.
No problem. And thank you for that. So I started one coming up on 3 years now called the People You Meet Podcast. And so it's long story short, it's me meeting people and telling their story that, you know, you might not see on the news or might not hear about or here or there. But you know what? It's saying their story matters and it's beneficial and important. And here's why. So I just love people. Y'all know that. And just telling their story. Second podcast I'm working on is called You Had Me at Black. And that's telling basically Black stories through the Black lens. We're not a monolith. We can all sit down. And yes, we have comparative and similar experiences. I'm sorry, not comparative. We have similar experiences, but I promise they're so uniquely different. from start to finish. We all know this. And so we're telling our stories through the Black lens, and love working on that show. The team I work with, they are nothing, short of amazing people and people that I enjoy being around.
I have to say, I love listening to it.
Thank you.
Me
Appreciate
too.
it. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that.
And what's her name?
One, Martina Abrahams, as well as Brittany Abrahams.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called You Had Me at Black. It's a great show. Last one I'm working on is one that's in the works right now. We should be premiering at the end of the month. It's called The Good Word with Vinny Goodwill. Vinny is a Yahoo Sports writer covering basketball. And Vinny's just on there giving the, not hot takes, but he's delivering a good word when it comes to basketball, but also the angle and perspective he comes from. I love it because I believe it's an angle and perspective that's not heard in the mainstream spaces too often, or often enough rather. So I'm a producer on that one. Love working with Vinny. He's a great guy. So that should be coming up late July as well. It's going to align with the NBA restart. So that's what I'm working on, but also thank you for the opportunity to plug my work.
If you guys would like to further that conversation or add to the conversation, join our Discord. And that'd be a great way to pose your questions and to also just talk to us and get to know us on a deeper level outside of just, hey, what's up, or just listening to us. All right?
Absolutely. And don't forget to check out our Instagram and our Twitter as well at Have a Drink Cast. And don't forget to use the hashtag HADcast. Gentlemen, listeners at home, I implore you all raise your glasses, and I thank you for another successful episode of the Have a Drink podcast. I invite y'all to come back to sit, think, and have a drink. It's been it. Peace.
Peace.